Hey guys, welcome to the third part of the series. So in the last part we finished our today page and we have done our upcoming page in the first part of this series. So we're in our third part now. So in this video we are going to work on our calendar and our sticky wall. So if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so now so you get notified anytime we release a video. So let's get straight into this video. Going back to my codes here, so let's close this and close this. So first I will close every component that we have there. So now what calendar is actually a page, not a component. So here I'll create a new folder here and I'll call it calendar like that, and here I'll create a new folder again. Sorry, it should be a new file. So here I'll create a new file, I'll call it my calendar.jsx, and also I'll create a new file again, I'll call it calendar.scss. So now for my calendar, I'm going to use a custom calendar called React Big Calendar. So if let me go back to my browser here. So here if you search React Big Calendar, so it will show you it's like an event calendar component built for React and designed for modern browser. So it's just like a full React calendar. So that is actually what I want to use in my project. In this project, if you come here, oh sorry, this sounds like, let's see here, this npm. So exactly, so this is what I want to implement in my code. So first we have to install, as you can see here, we have to install React Big Calendar. So and then we have some local setup like this, something like this, but ours is just going to be a little bit different from this, but you get the gist. So what I'm going to say, the first thing we need to do is install React Big Calendar. So I'll go back to my React tab and then go to my code. So right here I'm going to create a new terminal here to install my React Big Calendar. Okay, so here let me just cd into my project. So cd task manager, so this is just cd into my project. If where I'm coming, then after that I'll install npm install React Big Calendar, and also I want to install this package as well, dates-fns, like this. So I'll press my install. So it's currently React Big Calendar is currently installing, as we can see. So my calendar is already installed now. So let me just bring this my terminal, let's reduce it. So here I have this my calendar.jsx and I have this calendar.scss. So let's bring it out. So from here, remember we write our arrow function to bring our React arrow function out. Then so okay, let me give it, it's currently loading. Yes, well, okay, now I can write my arrow function rfce. Then I have this my calendar. Then here let's say div class name, let's give the class name of calendar, we call it calendar, and inside, so inside I'll pass in my sidebar component. So sidebar like that. So with that I have to import my sidebar. I'll say import sidebar from, so dot/dot/slash component slash sidebar like that. So with that I'll import my sidebar. I've imported my sidebar component. Let us also import our sidebar.scss. So yeah, sorry, our calendar.scss, this file. So I'll just say import calendar.scss. then after that, the next thing I want to do is that here I will have another div right here. So I'll call this div dot my calendar, sorry, my calendar, like that. And inside we are going to have like an h1 tag. I will call it calendar, like that. Then the next thing we want to do is, okay, here let's just give a inline styling for this, like style, and padding is 20 pixels, like that. Now the next thing we want to do is that, okay, let's see, let me come back to my terminal here and see what we have. Okay, everything is compiled successfully. So have we passed in this my calendar into our app.jsx? Let me see. Okay, so here I have to import my calendar here as well. So I'll say, let me see if you can import it directly for me. Calendar. Okay, it's okay. Let me just see first. Let me calendar. Okay, let's do it like this. Then I'll comment this out, and from here I'll say import calendar from pages slash calendar slash my calendar, like that. And oh, what we want to import is my calendar, not calendar, so my calendar, yes, like that. So I can remove one. So with this, we should go back to our browser. We should have our calendar displayed there. We just like calendar and our and our sidebar. So I'll come here. So coming back here, my React app, and refreshing this my React app. It's currently loading. So we have this, our, what is it called, we have our sidebar, and we have this calendar down here. So let's just make some small styling. So going back to the code here, so in my calendar.jsx or calendar.sss, let me remove this. So here the first one, calendar display is going to be flex, and inside my calendar, I'll say flex should be 6, like this. Then saving this and going back to my browser. Okay, going back to the browser and refreshing. So we have this, our calendar, and we have our sidebar. So now for this calendar that we have, we want to input our calendar here. So going back to this, our React big calendar. So I will use this is the version that I want to use. So I'll just copy what we have here. Okay, let's first copy the import like this, then go back to my code. In this my calendar.jsx, I'll paste it right here. Then I'll go back again, copy this, although we are still going to make some changes. I'll copy this as well and paste it here. After that, in our calendar components now, so this calendar, I'll just copy this and paste it there as so. I'll copy this and paste it after this h1 here, like that. So saving this, let's say it's currently compiling. So let me remove this sidebar first. Okay, so saving this, although there are some adjustments that we want to make. Now the next thing I want to do is that I want to like use some states. I want to use some React states. The first one I want to do, I'll say const event and set events, like that. So we are going to use states. Now the states, make sure it's imported up here beside the React. So it's going to be an array. So inside we are going to have some dummy data like our events. So the first one, let's say title, and it's going to be, let's say, you can say design meeting. Then this is just like some data that we want there. We say start, we'll give it new dates. So we have to make sure that date is imported. So new date, and it's going to be okay, start new date like that. Then let's confirm if date is imported up here. Is date imported? Let's continue first. So after this start new date, then we are going to have the end. Now the end is going to be add days. Dates, we are going to have add days, like this. Then it's going to be, then we say new dates, we call on a new date and add one like this. So okay, let me remove one of the s. So then the next thing we want to do is we want to give it like all day function. So it's like the task is all day, it does not have a specific time, so I'll set it to true. So this is the first one. So this is the title, the start, the date of the start. Now when you start the task, and the end is all the end. And then I'll copy this and paste it, just like two tasks actually. So the second one, let's just give it like a demo. I'll say demo presentation like that, presentation. Then the same way, but here add this, let's give it like 2. Yeah. Then the next thing we want to do, so here in the stats, okay, let's give this start again. I'll copy this right here and paste it here also. So if you don't worry, if you are not familiar with YADB calendar, just follow the video and you get it. Then the next thing we want to do now, I think everything is set. So after that, I want to add another React state. I'll say const dates and set date is going to be equal to use date, and we are going to use new dates, like date function like that. Then the next one, I'll use const, we call it current view, and set current view. So it's going to be equal to a use state hook. Then we are using the views.month, like views.month. So with this, I have to import views. So views.month. Then here I will have to import views. Okay, it's already imported for us here. So now the next thing we want to do now is, after this, we want to write some small functions. So the first one, let's say I'll say const undo select slots. So it's going to be an arrow function. Then inside I'll pass in the prop stats for the start date. So start, so which is going to be equal to an arrow function like this. And here I'll say this is just for the prompt. I want to write anytime you click any date, it should bring out like a prompt or an alert asking you to create to set a new task for that day. So I'll say const title is equal to, like, bring out a prompt. Then inside this prompt we are going to ask a question, enter a title for your event. Then this is going to happen if we don't have a title for that event, or if the title trim is equal to an empty string. So if that's, in such cases we will return that function. So after that, I want to add a new event here. So I'll say const new event, const new event is going to be like a list or an array. So here we have like our title, we have start, the start of the event, the end. Now the end is going to have like add days like this and start, so it's just like the same day. Then all day, we don't have, our event is not time specific, so I'll say all day is true, like that. This should still be under this function that we're writing here. So after that, I'm just going to say set event. We have this, I'll use this states that we have here, set event. Sorry, so I'll say set event. So I want to get this, I'll pass in a prop of like the previous one, so we are going to set it to spread like the data that we have in our previous and new. We are going to set it to new events, like that, new events. So with that, we are done with that part. So after that, I want to add another function. So const undo select, undo select event. So inside is going to be an arrow function passing a prop of like events. Sorry. So undo select event, we pass in a prop event. Then inside we are going to have a function alert, which is going to say, so inside these alerts I will have this. So we have like events, so anytime you click an event, it's going to show you the event title. So event dot title. So with this, we are done with that part. So now I'll just come back to this my calendar. So our localizer is already defined up here. So this is our localizer. We set our localizer to localizer. Events, we are going to set our events to events. So event, we are going to set it to this events. So instead of my event list, we don't have that, so I'll say events, like that. So start accessor is going to start, end accessor, we have our end. Then we want to make it selectable, and also on select slots, we'll set it to this our function of undo, this function undo select slots. Sorry, undo select slots. Then on select events, so we set it to our function undo select events, and also we want to give it a style of let's say, okay, we have our height of 500, so the style is already there, so I don't need this actually. Then after that, let's give our views. I'll say views is equal to, so month, then want week, and also day with agenda. So that is what we want it to display in the calendar. Want month, week, day, and agenda. Then our view should be the current view. We have defined our current view up here, if you remember. So current view, so our view should be current view, which should be months. The month should be the current view. Then what else do we need? So on view, want to set it to set current view. Then on navigate, want to set it to date, so set dates. Then what else? Dates should be dates. We have defined all these React states up, and that will be all. So after this, saving this, then after saving it, let's allow it to compile. So it's currently compiling, and okay, let me just go to the browser and see. So it's compiled successfully. So here, refresh, it's saying add this is not defined, but let's see. Okay, I think there's an issue. Let's check our code. So if I come here, so it's saying add this is not defined. Okay, we have formats, we have this, we have this. So this, let's just make it better. Instead of having it like this, I'll remove this. I'll say import, then I'll pass it like format comma pass comma start okay, comma, let's just say get day, then I'll pass in add days like this too. Then let me see, do we need anything again? No. Then import this from dates fns like this. So saving that and going back to the browser. Is currently compiling. Let's give it some seconds before we continue. I think here we use start of week and we have not imported that, so beside there I'll put start of week and import it. Also put my command there. So also there's another thing that we need to import, our React like inbuilt css, the big calendar css, like built-in css. We have to import it too. So I'm going to say import React big calendar / library / css / react big calendar .css. So for the inbuilt styling for the React css, so we have like react big calendar / library / css / react big calendar .css. So with that, let's allow it to compile and go back to, okay, we're having one error. So we're having an error. It's because of this command that I put here. So it should be semicolon, saving this and allowing it to compile. So I just want to compile on time. So it's currently compiling. So let's just check our browser and see what we have there. So refreshing this. It's currently loading. As we can see, our page has already loaded and we have this beautiful calendar displayed. So we have like we can set it to week if you want to check your, and look at this month. These are the 2 events that we set it, like that we use in our React states. They are demo events, like demo, demonstration and design meeting. So if you want to look at week, like we can set it to day if you want to check it day by day and time. So but we are not using time for our React, so we are not using time for our task, so we are just using all day. If you check your agenda, design meeting and everything, demonstration, so everything is working well. So and anytime you click a slot, it will tell you enter a title for your event, and if you click on this, it's going to tell you the event title, demonstration. So everything is actually working well. So we are done with our React calendar. So the next thing we want to work on is our sticky wall. So let's work on that now. Now let's build a sticky note feature where users can pin their reminders or ideas. So we start by building the layout, which is going to be a page. We are going to call that page sticky.jsx. So let's do that now. So in my source, in this my pages, I'll create a new folder and I'll call it sticky. Then inside I'll create 2 new files. The first one sticky.jsx and the next one I can say I'll call it new file. I'll say sticky.scss. So this will contain the layout. Then we are going to build some reusable components. First is going to be the sticky notes. The reusable component is going to be a reusable component, so a sticky note. So here I'll create a new folder, so I'll call it sticky notes like this. Then inside we are going to have our sticky notes.jsx, sticky notes.jsx, and also let me create another new file. So it's going to be sticky notes.scss. Now, not only that, so also we are going to have a pop-up modal. So inside the pop-up modal, so I'll create a new component. So here I'll say sticky modal, like this, sticky modal. And inside the sticky modal, I'll create a new file. I'll call it sticky modal.gsx, sticky modal.gsx, and also a new file, sticky modal.scss, sticky modal.scss, like this. Now let me remove everything. I'll like close all tabs. Let me just close all tabs, close all. Then I'll start from here, our sticky notes in our pages. Let me close this. So in this my pages, I'll start with my sticky notes, sticky.gsx. So here, remember our arrow command. Let me bring the sticky.ss beside too. So first thing first, so now I'll go to my sticky.gsx, and here I'll type in my arrow function. So RAFCE is going to bring my arrow function. Then here sticky, then sticky. The first thing I want to do, import our scss file. So import ./sticky.scss. So after we have imported that, so confirm your import by like pressing Ctrl click. So we are back here, so to confirm that we've imported it correctly. So now let's just create our basic layouts for our sticky notes sticky.gsx. So the first thing, I'm going to have a div here. So this div, we are going to give it a class name. So let's give it a class name, and the class name is going to be, let's say, sticky, like that. I'm so sorry about how I'm naming my component. I'm just naming it the way it's easy for me. So sticky. Then apart from that, so after that, I'm going to remove this sticky that we have here. So we need to bring our sidebar components. So I'll just like type in my sidebar. So you're supposed to bring it from me. Oh, it didn't import it. Let me try it again if it's going to import it. So sidebar. Oh, it didn't import it. So I have to import it from up here. So I'll say import sidebar. So I'll say import sidebar from /component. Oh, sorry, /component /sidebar, like that. So with that, we have imported our sidebar components. Then after our sidebar components, we are going to have a container. So I'll say div.sticky container, and inside this container we are going to have a p.title, and the title is going to be our sticky wall, like this, sticky wall. Now after that, we are going to have, after the sticky wall, we are going to have the rows for our sticky notes. So I'll just say like div dot, like, let's say row, like this, and inside this we are going to map in some notes here. So let's just leave it like this for it. Okay, let me just say div, oh, let's leave it like this for like this first. So what I want to do now is, in my sticky.scss, let's just write some basic styling for it. So first I'll say .sticky. So .sticky, the first thing, display should be flex. Then I'm going to get my sticky container. So sticky container, and the sticky container flex should be 6. Then we are going to give padding of 10 pixels and margin of 20 pixels. Sorry, margin of 20 pixels. Now after that, I'll get my title. Now inside my title, I have a font size of, let's say, 30 pixels, and font weight should be bold, like that. So the next one, for our row, I'll come out of this title. Let me get my row. You know, we have, like, I'm talking about this div.row that we have here. So let me just explain what I want to do before I go back there. So here I'm going to have like the different sticky notes, each sticky note, but I don't want to have my sticky notes here. So because of the other part of this video where we are going to be doing our API calls, so that's why I created a reusable component called, if I come to this component, we have this sticky note. So it's this sticky note that we are going to like pass in here. So all our sticky notes will be from here. So the styling of sticky notes will be here. So that's why here is still empty. Don't worry, you are going to understand better in just some couple of seconds or couple of minutes now. So let's continue. So in this my row now, so here in this dot row, the first thing is display flex as well. Align items should be center, then flex wrap. So I'll say flex wrap should be wrap, and also flex wrap should be wrap. That means it should like go to the next page after it has finished the occupying the page. Then gap should be 20 pixels, and also let's give it padding top to be, let's say, 20 pixels as well. Now the next thing we want to do is, okay, let's leave it like this first. Now let's go back to this our sticky note component, but before we do that, let's pass in this sticky.jsx into our home page, because if you go back to our home page, we are still having this calendar. So let me cancel this. So let's have our sticky word displayed here. So going back to our codes now, so in this my app.jsx, so I'll import our sticky like this. So it's already suggesting it for me. I'll just press enter, and it has already been imported here. So after I've done that, let me just comment this my calendar first. So saving it, is currently compiling. So going back to the browser now, refresh it, we should have our sticky notes displayed there. So now we have this our sticky wall. So let's continue our project. So coming back to our code now, I'll remove this and remove this. So now let's go to our sticky notes.jsx. Let me remove this as well. So I'll open this component sticky notes.jsx. So here as well, write our arrow function rafce, then import our sticky.scss. So I'll say import dot slash sticky notes dot scss. This one letter s, take note of that, or the way what you used to style what you used to save your Sass file. So with that, and I'll confirm my my scss file if it has been correctly linked. So I'll just press control click. Oh, that means it said this editor could not be opened. Okay, let's see, maybe I didn't write it well. So let me see, sticky notes dot scss, sticky notes dot scss. Okay, I didn't spell it here right here. So let me just correct that, sticky notes dot scss, like that. So and we have it here. So now let me come back here. So in my sticky notes, so in the same way here, I'm going to remove this. So here, this div, I'm going to give it a class name. I'll call it sticky notes like this. Then after that, inside I'll have another div. I'll call this div sticky notes header like that. And inside my sticky notes header, I'll have like an h3 tag. Then this h3 tag, let's give it a class name. The class name is going to be sticky notes title, and the title, let's just give it an example. I'm going to leave it first. Don't worry, we want to map in some things there. Let's just leave it like this first. Then we are going to have div dot sticky notes icons. So sticky notes icons icons. So inside it, we are going to have two icons, an edit icon like a pen icon, and a delete icon, which is going to be like a trash icon. So we are going to use material UI. So I'll just call it like this. So edit, if it's going to see, do you see it here? So I'm already seeing it for material UI icon. I'll press enter, it has imported it. If it has not imported it up here, please check and import it. So inside this my edit, I will give it a class name. The class name is going to be icon, and then I will close it like that. Then also the delete icon, so delete for material UI, the class name also is going to be icon like that, and I will close the tag like that. Now after that, the next thing we want to do is I'll come out of this div, the two div, I'll come out of this my sticky notes header. So I want to go to the sticky notes body now. So I'll say div dot sticky notes body hyphen body like this. So inside I will have my p tag, which is going to contain the content of our page. So this is just the basic structure of our sticky notes JSX. So let's just make some simple styling, just very simple styling. So getting my sticky notes, so dot sticky notes like this. So the first one, I'll say position should be relative. Then let's give it a height of 250 pixel and width of 240 pixels. Then I'll give margin of 10 pixels and padding of 20 pixels. Then we are going to give a border radius of let's say 5 pixels. Then after that we are going to have a box shadow. So box shadow, and it's going to be 0, 2 pixels, 5 pixels, RGBA. Then we are going to have 0, 0, 0.05 like that, like a very dark color like that. Then we are going to give it display flex, and flex direction should be column. Now after that, so to get the sticky notes header, so I'll just say and header like that, just for the sticky notes header hyphen. This and is already getting this class name and this header that we have here. We have like sticky notes header, so with the and is already getting this whole sticky notes, and we just give this header to there. So now I'll come back here. So to get our header is going to be display flex as well. Then justify contents is going to be center, align items to be center as well. Then let's get our sticky notes title. So I'll say dot sticky notes hyphen title. So inside I'm going to have a font size of let's say 20 pixels. Then we are going to have font weight to be not normal, bold, and also margin of 0 pixel. Now so after that I'll go back to my sticky, let's get the icons. So sticky notes hyphen icons. So inside there, display flex as well, and let's give the gap of like 20 pixels. Now after let's get each icon now. So I'll say dot icon. So the icon cursor should be pointer. Don't worry, we are going to see what we are doing soon. Cursor should be pointer, and font size should be 20 pixels. Then the color should be something like a very, let's say gray color. So I'll say RGBA. Let me remove this, I don't need all this right here. Then so the color is 0, 0, 0, 0.6 like this. Then now when it is overed, okay, so let's say when it is overed, so we are using a dark color instead, not a gray color. So when it is overed, we are going to have this color that we have here, hashtag 000 like that. So when it is overed, it's going to display that. So after that, the next thing we want to do, I think we are actually done. Let's go to our body. So let's come out of this our header. So I'll go to my body now. So for this, I'll come out here and I'll say and body to get the body. So here in the body, the padding top should be let's give it 18 pixel. Then we are going to give it flex grow should be 1, and then overflow y, let's give it an overflow, so that when like our text, our sticky note passes, like goes beyond the rectangle, it should like overflow, you should cut it down. So I'll say overflow y to be auto to enable. So when it is overflow, it will enable scrolling so that you can scroll. Then I'll give it a maximum height of, let's say, 160 pixels, and word wrap should be break word. So this one, it will wrap long text, to wrap the long text properly. Then let's give it line height of like 1.4. Now after that, the next to work on now is if you notice, this our sticky notes, the header is empty, everything is empty. So from this now, we want to like set the value from this place. So we just map our data from here and pass it here using props. So this is what I'm saying. So here in this place, I'm going in my sticky.jsx, I'm going to like have a state. So I'll say const like wall and set wall. I'm going to use equal to use state. Make sure you import your use state. So use state like this, then it's going to be an object, and I say an object, is going to be an array instead. So it's going to be an array. So inside the array, that's where we are going to have this object like this. So the first one, let's say id1, these are dummy data. So id1, let's give it a title. Now this title, let's say like math exam, just like a sticky note. Then the content, we are going to give it let's say review chapters 1 to 5. Then after that, I'm going to say color should be hashtag, let's give the color FCE38A, like that, like a yellow color. It's not even like a yellow color, it's actually is yellow. So now the next thing I want to do, this is like for the first data, I'll copy this. Then for the second, let's just have like 3, and third like that. So for this second data, id will be 2. Then the title, let's say Django project. Now the content, I'm going to say implement payment system. Then the color is going to be let's say hashtag a blue color or a green, hashtag 95E1D3, like that. So a blue color like that, or is it green? Now the last one, this one, let's give it an ID, is the third one. The title is let's just say ideas. Now the content, I want this content to be very long, so I'm just going to use lorem. So I'll say lorem, like, let me say 50. Okay, lorem 50. So I want it to be very, very long. Let me just say lorem 30. It's going to like generate some words for me, and I'll just like put it in like my curly braces, and there also put it here like this. Then saving this, and let's save this. Is compiling. Okay, so let me just do, we're having this error because, let me go back first. If I come back here and put this comma here and save, so the error is gone. So now the error is gone, but let's just break this line, it's too long. So if I come here, let me go to this where this ends. So I'll press Alt on my keyboard and Z. So if I press Alt Z, it's going to break the line for me. So now the next thing I want to do now, we already have our wall, the content of our wall. So we just have to map it here. So in this my div class row, inside this place, I'm going to map the wall here. So how are we going to do that? So I think we've been doing that since the beginning of this video. So I'll just say wall dot map. I hope you still remember. Then you have an arrow function like that. So inside here, let's give it like I'll call it notes, like a an argument or a prop, so I'll call it note. Then inside that, now I'm going to import our sticky notes component, this sticky note component that we have here. So I want to import it here. So I'll just say sticky notes, like it's not importing. Let me just say sticky note.gss. So from here I have to import sticky note.gss. So I'll say import sticky notes, sticky notes, yes, from component slash sticky notes, this one that I have here. So clicking it, I've imported it like this. So then, so what are we going to do? So now, how are we going to pass in this data into this component? So we are going to do that by using props. So here inside this component, I'm going to use some props. So here the first one, we are going to give it a key. Anytime we map, you must always give it a key. Now the key is going to be, we are using this note to map it now. So note dot what? Dot id. So this is just like the variable name that we give it. So I'll say here note dot id, then comma. Then what else do we, okay, we don't need comma actually. So let me save this. So now what else do you want to map? Then the title, want to pass it as a prop like that. So the title here is also going to be note dot title. Then the next one is going to be content. The content is going to be equal to note dot content. If you notice, this is what we are saying, the content. Now you mean the color. So I'll say color is equal to note, let me put it in our curly braces, so note dot color, like that. So with this, we have passed in all this information as props to this our sticky notes components that we have here. Oh, I think I didn't spell this right. Okay, could not find the name sticky notes. Did you mean, oh, I think something is wrong. Oh, see the way we spelled my sticky note. So let us correct that, please. So here I'm going to say, I'm very sure you did it well in your place, but let me just quickly correct mine here. Then here is going to be sticky CKY, like this, and here I have to change it here as well. So CKY and sticky notes. I'm sorry for this mistake. So you don't need to change your own since you've done your own correctly. So I think it's correct now. Let me see. I'm still having an error. Let me see the error. It says cannot resolve component slash sticky note slash sticky note. Let me see. I think everything is correct now. Yeah, it should work now. Let me save it and check it again. So here I have to also like change the name here. So I will rename this. Let me rename. So so here is going to be sticky, let me spell it well now, sticky notes.jsl. I'm sorry for the error. So with this now, I'm going to save. It's already compiling, so we should not have any issue. So it's already compiled successfully, as we can see here. So now we've like mapped everything to this now. So the next thing we want to do is that I have to go back to this my sticky note.jss component. So inside this sticky note.js component, I will receive all those props. We've passed all these things as props like this. So I'll now like get it here. So here in this my arrow function, I will collect everything. So from the title to the content to the color. So these three, I'll collect it here. So then I'll pass it here. For this title, I'll just say title like this. Then for my then the contents here in this p tag, we'll pass in our content, remain our color. So since every sticky note is going to have different color, so here in this sticky note we are going to give it a style and a background color. So I'll say style background color, background color is going to be the color from the prop, like that. So I'll just say color. So with that, we have used every props actually. So now what do we need to do? Should we check our website, our browser, and see what we have there? So we should have each component displayed. So let's see. So if I come here and refresh this, you see, yes, so this is our sticky notes. These are title. So each sticky note is a component, and we have mapped the content to it. We have mapped our data from our React state to it. So this is the math exam, this is like the second one, this is the third one. So this third one, I didn't change the color, that's why it's like the same thing with this. So let's change that color now. So if I come to my code here, so if I come here and go to this place, you see it's actually the same with this color, so I can change it. So let's change this color. So I'll say hashtag FFAAA5 like this and save this. So we have like an orange color. Coming here and refreshing it, we should have an orange color displayed there. So we have an orange color displayed. But now we have not really worked on this icon. We are going to work on this icon very soon. So now the next thing I want to explain is that what if we have a content that is like longer than this? What will happen? We have already rewritten the code, the overflow. Why we make like a scroll option here? So this is what I'm saying. Let me go back to my code now. So let me just copy what we have, the content of this, and paste it again. You see how long it is now? And let's see what will happen if I go back to my code and to my browser and refresh my page. So let me refresh the page and see. It's currently okay. Let's give it some seconds. So now you see we have this overflow, so it's not going to like go outside this box. With the help of that overflow, that is why we have this scroll option. But now you see that it's not that fine. Let's actually edit this overflow and make it better. So let's do that now. So to do that, I'm going to go back to my code here. So I'll go to this my sticky note.jss and sticky note.scss. So in this my sticky note.scss, so here what made that scrolling effect possible is this where is this sticky not header, this content, this overflow y auto. That is what makes it possible. So now we can edit that. So to edit that, I'm going to come back after this and body. So I'll just say I'll get my and, you know, don't forget the and is like the sticky notes, like this class name that we give it like this. So instead of writing like that, so I'll just say and then I'll like use like to get the properties. So something like this, like double, then I'll use my WebKit, this function, WebKit scroll bar. So WebKit scroll bar. So inside I'm going to give it a width of 5 pixels. Then after that, I'll get the scroll, another function, another properties. So and like this, then WebKit scroll bar thumb, the thumb. Now here we are going to give like a background color of, let's say RGBA. Let me take this, but it's not going to be, it's going to be 0.2 like that. Then after that, I'm going to give the border radius of, let's say 4 pixels. Now the next thing I want to get after this is the track. So I'll the same way, and then and then I will have this WebKit scroll bar track like this, and inside we are going to have we are going to give it a background color, and it's going to be transparent like that. So saving this and going back to our browser, oh, it's not still working, it's not still showing. We have actually made some adjustment. Why is it still showing like this? Let's check our notes. Let's check our code. So coming back here and see, oh, I've seen the mistake. So this, it should be inside this body, you know, the content is inside this body. So I have to like carry everything we have here and cut it, then paste it inside our body, then save. So if we do this and go back to our code, refresh this page, so refreshing this page like this, and we already have this beautiful, is already like implemented like this. So we have this our what's it called, our scroll bar like that. So this is already done. So let's work on other things. But now, as we can see up here, this our header, our icon, and this maths, like the title, they are not, they should be, the justify content should be spaced between, not centered. They are all centered. So let's work on that. So if I come back to the code here, and from here, first let me go back to this sticky note icon. The 20 pixels is too much. Let's change to 10 pixels. And also in this justify content, it should be space between. So saving this, and then going back to our code, and let me refresh this page and see what we have now. So now better. So we have this our icon for editing and deleting, then we have this our content. So everything is working well. So let's work on other aspect of the video too now. So now I'm back in my Visual Studio Code now. So I'm going to close all this thing. Let's start working with our sticky modal. So I'm just going to leave this sticky.jsx open because we will still need it. And let me reduce this. So the next thing now, let's work on our sticky modal. So in this modal, I'll open this my JSX component. Let me open this JSX component and drag this SCSS Sass component as Sass file as well. So in this our modal, sticky modal, so write your arrow command, refce. So we have this sticky modal there. So I'm going to, this is going to have a class name. The class name is going to be modal overlay, like modal overlay like this. Then inside we are going to have another div, and then we are going to have modal content. Then inside we are going to have an h2 tag. Then the tag is going to be, let's just leave it as add notes first, add sticky notes at first. Then we are also in this our modal, this sticky modal is just like a form. User can like a form for them to like create their sticky notes. So we are going to have like a form tag. So inside this form, the first one, let me remove, we don't need this action. So in this form, so inside this form, we are going to have, first we are going to have label for title, label HTML for title like this, for the title tag. And then we are going to have the title, which is title like this. Then we are going to have like an input type text, so input type text name, and let me remove this name first. Then the ID is also going to be the title like that. So it's good, we have linked this label for this title, like we have linked this label for this input like that. So now the next thing we want to give it, we are going to give it required attributes, and also we are also going to give it a max length, so that the max length should be 50. So a max length of 50. Then we are also going to give it a value, but we are going to fill in the value later. So let me just come here and give it value, although it's just going to be an empty braces like this. We are going to give the value later, or let me give it as a string first. We are going to work on that later. Then after that, we are going to have a label tag, and now this one is going to be for content, for the content. And inside this label, we are going to have our content like that. Now here in this our input tag up here, there's something that I need to give it, like a placeholder. So let's give the placeholder. So the placeholder is going to be like something like eg. something like a description for the title, something like e.g. meeting notes, like this. Then we are going to have label for content. Then inside this content, we are going to use text area. Now name, we don't have name, we don't need name. The ID is going to be content, and also we are going to give it value. So let's leave it as empty string first. Then after that, we are going to give it's going to have this required attribute as well, and then it's going to have a placeholder. So here too, like an example of a sticky note, so we are going to say, let's say discuss project ideas, so then we are going to give it like another HTML attribute. So like row, we want to give it like rows should be 5, and then I think that should be all for that. So now the next item we want in our form is our color. So you can choose the color for your sticky note. So here, label for, let's say, color, and the label title should also be color, like that. Now, so then here we are going to have an input text like this, and then the name, we don't need the name. The ID is the color for the HTML. Then next thing that we need is the type. Okay, no, sorry, input type is not text, it's input type color, so that we can choose our color. So it is input type color. Sorry, let me delete it so that it will not cause confusion. So let me just delete this. So here, let's write another input. So input color, so this is what we need, input type color. We don't need the name. Now in the ID too should be color, and the value first should be an empty string. Then so let's leave it as an empty string, like that. So with that, we are done with that part. So then we are going to have a div for the button. So I'll say div dot modal buttons, like that. And inside we are going to have our first button, and the type is going to be submit, button type submit. And then let's give the class name so that we can make some beautiful styling. So the class name is going to be submit btn, like that. And let's leave it as, so inside we are going to have like add, like that. Then we are going to have another button for closing, so button submit, like that. And then the same way, the class name of this should be cancel btn, like cancel button. And inside we are going to have let's give it cancel, like this, and we'll save this. So with this, we are done with the structure of our sticky modal. Now the next thing we want to work on is the styling. But before we do the styling, let's just pass this sticky modal to, okay, I think there's an error. I'm seeing an error displayed. Okay, let me draw this down. Okay, it's web compiled successfully, no error, sorry. So now let's just pass this sticky modal to our sticky.jsx. So after, where is it, let's say after this div, we are going to have our sticky modal here. So I'm just going to say sticky modal, hoping it will be imported. Let me just give it a second. So it's going to bring out suggestion for importing. No, it did not bring it out, so I have to import it myself. So let me see, it did not import it for me. Let me see if it's going to, okay, now it's imported it for me now. So this is the sticky modal up here. So I will just close my tag and save this. The next thing, I want to cut it, it should be after this div, like here. So let's save this and check our browser now. So if you check the browser and refresh, you should have a form displayed without any styling. It's just going to be exactly like this. So this is like what we have. So now what we need to do now is to make some basic styling for this. So we have this beautiful, so let's just make some beautiful styling for this. now. So now I'll go back to my sticky modal.scss. So the first thing, in our sticky modal, the first class name is modal overlay. So getting that, I'll say dot modal overlay. The modal overlay. So here the first thing, the position should be fixed, and then after position fixed, we are going to have till top 0, left 0, left 0, and then we are going to have width of 100% and height of 100%, height of 100%. Then we are going to have background color RGBA 0,0,0,0.5, like this. Then we are going to have display flex. Display is going to be flex. Then we have justify content center, align items center, and z index, so it should be displayed over every other app, every other thing at the background. So z index 100. So now here everything should be perfectly centered. Let's check what we have. So coming here and refreshing, let's see. Oh, okay, it's not displaying because we have not linked our Sass file into our React component. So to do that, I'm going to say import from / the same folder sticky modal.scss, like that, and save it, allow it to compile. So let's see, it's compiling with an error. Okay, the sticky modal is small letter s, so that's why. So with this now, let's see, it should work now. Okay, it's successful. So going back to the browser, exactly, we have this displayed like the z index, and it's perfectly centered. So let's continue with the styling. So coming back to our scss file, so then we are going to have our modal content. So dot modal content for the contents now. So the first thing, background should be white. And then we want to give padding of 30 pixel, 40 pixel. We want to give padding of 30 pixel, 40 pixel. And then we are going to have border radius of 4 pixels. And then we are going to have a width of 400 pixels, and max width of 90%. Then let's get our h2 tag. Now in this our h2, we are going to give it margin bottom of, let's say, 20 pixels. Now let's see what we have now. It's currently loading. Okay, beautiful. So it's already coming to life. So let's continue. Okay, the margin button now. So let's continue with our styling. So after this our h2, let's get our form. So let's work with our form now. So if I get this form tag, so the first thing, display flex at first. So display flex, then we are going to give flex direction column. Let's see. So everything should be like on column, everything should be aligned perfectly now, and everything should work like on a straight line, not, yes, this is what I'm saying. So everything is aligned well and on a single column. So now the next thing we want to do now, after this we are done with this form, let's get our label. So inside this my form tag, so I'll get my label. So all the label, they are almost the same thing. Let's give it margin bottom of about 6 pixels, and then font weight should be 600. Then so after that, I'll get my input. So the first input, I want to get the type. Let's get the attribute, the input of the text. So I'll say type equal to So type is equal to text, and then inside, then we want to get the text area as well. So the text area, so after that we are going to give a padding of 10 pixels, and then we are going to give margin bottom, so everything like there will be gap between them, so margin bottom of about 15 pixels, then border radius of 4 pixels, and then let's give the border of 1 pixel solid, hashtag ccc, like that. Then font size of 16 pixels. Then we don't want it to resize, so resize none. Then we are done with that. So let's get the input type color now. So input, then we'll give it type color. So input type color. So the same way, the width is going to be 50 pixels, the height is going to be let's say 40 pixels, then border should be none, and then margin bottom of about 20 pixels, and cursor should be pointer. Now we are done with this, so let's get straight to our button. So the first one, the button, so let me check it first. So sticky modal, div class the modal buttons. Okay, now you want to get the button tag, yes. So here button, the padding should be 12 pixels, and then margin top should be 10 pixels, and border should be none, and border radius should be 5 pixels, and let's give a font weight of 600. Then cursor should be pointer, and then we'll have our background color. The background color is going to be this color, hashtag 1976 D2, like a blue color like that. Then the color for the text should be white. Then when it is overed, so let's give this over attribute. So when it is overed, the background color should change. So background color should change to this color, hashtag 115293, that color, like a deep blue instead. So now after that, I'll come out of this and then go into, I'll just come out of this two tag, then get our dot cancel btn for the cancel button. So cancel btn like this. So inside the background color should be hashtag ccc, like a very teal color, I said teal, like a white smoke. Then the color should be hashtag 444, like a gray color. Then margin top should be 8 pixels. Now after that, we want to give this an over attribute too. So when it is overed, so and over like that, so when it is overed, we are going to have a new background color is going to be hashtag 999, like that. So with this, we are done with the styling. So let's check what we have now. So going back to our browser, we have this beautiful, okay, let me refresh it again and see what we have. So we have this, our beautiful sticky notes. So we have this add sticky note, the title, the content, and the color. But this button, they are not displaying well. What's the reason? Let's check that now. I think here is fine. Let's check our component. So since we didn't use this div, let me remove this div. We didn't use it, and also let me remove this. And since we got everything by this button tag, this doesn't need this class name. It's just only this that need a class name. So let me save and check. So with this, let's check what we have. So coming here and refreshing, let's see if it's going to make any. I'm not sure, but let's see. It's currently loading. Yes, so now we have this beautiful, so we have our meeting notes, our content, the color, and we have this add and cancel button. So this is okay. So now we are done with our sticky notes. So the next thing is now we are done with like the components. Now the next thing that we want to do is the implementation. So I want to say that when we click this, when we click on, okay, first I'm going to comment out this sticky notes first. So let's comment it out first. Let me go to my code. So if I come here and in my sticky.jsx, let's comment this out. So, and let me go back to my browser, refresh this. So let's see what we have now. So this should go, the sticky note should go. Sorry for this, like my system is quite slow. So now I want to add a new note, a sticky note, a fixed one. It's just something like this, but it's going to be fixed. Nothing is going to be inside, but it's just going to have a add sign. So the add sign is just for like when you click that, it should bring out the sticky modal, and when you click this, it should bring out that same sticky modal, but when you click this, it should like bring like an edit form. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. First, let me just show you first. Let me go to my code now. So what I'm trying to say is that, you know, we have these sticky notes like this, which is like all these sticky notes that we have here. So I want to create another fixed note, like a fixed sticky note, something like this also here, but it will not have anything to it will not have any content. It's just going to have like a plus sign. So that one is just anytime you click that plus sign, the sticky modal is going to pop up. So let's do that now. So in my sticky.jsx, so go to your sticky.jsx. So under here we are going to create, after this we are going to create a new div inside this row. Make sure that it's inside this div class name row. So I'm going to create a new div. So I'll say div dot, I'm going to give it a two class name. Actually, first sticky note, and also add, okay, let's say div dot sticky note. Then I want to give another one, add notes, like this. So if you notice, this class name sticky notes is the same class name of, let me open my sticky notes component. So if you notice, this class name that I have here is a class name that I give this div, since they are actually almost the same thing. So you know, we rendered everything to this single page. It's just like all these components, they are inside this page. So don't let us waste our time with that. So sticky notes, then add notes. Then let me just do some small styling, inline styling here. So we are going to give it cursor is going to be pointer, and then not only cursor, we are going to give background color. So we are going to give a background color of, like, let's say light gray, like that. So inside this div, we are going to have like a add icon. So for material UI, so add like this. So I know that we have already imported it before. Oh, it's not imported though. So let me see, let me copy it from, oh, it's not here. So we have to import it ourselves. So to import it, let me remove it. Let me see if this is going to import it for me by itself. So add, okay, yes, you brought it out. So now I've imported it up here. So look at it, make sure you import your add icon for material UI. Then let's give it a class name. The class name is going to be icon, like that. So with that, let's open my sticky.scss file. So my sticky.scss. So inside here, in this my row, I'm going to have like, I'll get that add notes now. So I'll say dot add notes. So dot add notes, like that. So the same thing, we are going to say display should be flex, and then align items, center, justify contents, center, and the color should be hashtag 333, like that. So let's save this and go to our browser and see what we have. So if I come down here, then refresh this page, so we have this. So now let's work on this icon. It's too small, so this is like a fixed what's it called, a fixed sticky note. So when you click on this, the pop-up is going, that sticky modal is going to pop up. So let's just make this icon a little bit bigger. So coming here, I'm going to say inside this add note, so I'll say dot icon. So here the cursor should be pointer, and also font size should be 50 pixels. So saving this and checking again, our what's it called should be bigger now. Yes, it's currently bigger, as you can see. So now we are done with this. So let's now work on the logic that anytime we click this, the pop-up should come up, and when we click this, that pop-up, that modal should come up, but it should bring us the information that we have so that we can edit. This is for edit and this is for delete. Although we are just going to work on the logic behind it now, but the real code is going to be in the latest part of this series when we link our backend, our Django REST framework backend for it. But let's just work on the logic now. So let's start with this, our sticky component. So let me close this sticky note, we don't need it, and we don't need this SCSS. So we just need this sticky.jss, the page, and this sticky modal. So in this sticky component, so the first thing we want to do, we want to write some React states. So we only have these states before. So here, after these parts, let me see, yes. So I'm going to have another states, the under states declared. So I'll say const, this state is going to be modal open and set modal open, like that. So I'll say use states. Initially we are going to set it to false. Then we are going to have another state is going to be, let's say, editing notes and set editing notes, like that. So first we are going to use state, and the state is going to be, we are going to use like set it to null. So then first let's write a function for our open modal. So when you click on that open, when we click on that add icon, it should like pop up the modal. Let's write that function first. So I'll call the function open add modal, like that. So it's going to be an arrow function, and then we are going to have inside the function, so we set modal open, initially we set it to false. So when you click on that modal, or when you click on the button, we are going to set editing notes to null. We are still going to, you are not editing now. So in this part, you want to like add a new, let's say you want to add a new sticky note. So then we are going to say set modal open to, instead of false, it's going to be true now. So this one is for modal open. Now we are going to also write a function for edit. We have like edit icon too. So open edit modal for the edit modal. So open edit modal. So it's also going to be arrow function, like this. Now here we are going to pass in props inside here. Let's say we are going to pass in notes rather, so as a prop inside. So here we are going to, when you open edit modal, we are going to set editing note to what? To notes instead of null. So the notes that we pass in here, we'll set it to notes, and then we are going to set modal open to what? True also, so that when you click on the edit modal, you should open the editing note and it should also open the modal. So these are the two functions. So in this one, when you click on this add modal, we have this add modal. This is the day for the add modal. When you click on this, so we are going to write the onClick function here. So when you click on it, the modal will open, but editing notes, are you editing? No. But if you check our sticky notes, like in our sticky notes, let me open my sticky note.jsx. So here we have, is it here? Yes, we have this edit icon. But when you click on this edit icon, we are going to pass in the function here too. So that is when we should open this edit modal. But it's actually the same sticky modal that's going to serve that two purpose. Don't worry, you are going to see how it works very soon. So now the next thing we want to see, the function we want to write now is when you close modal. So I'll say const close modal function, So const close modal is going to be an arrow function as well. So it's going to be an arrow function, sorry. So and inside we are going to set modal open to what? To false. I'm sure you guessed that. So we are going to set modal open to false like that. So with that now, the next function we want to write is our handle submit. So I'm going to say const handle submit for the form. So const handle submit is going to, we are going to pass in data like this, and then it's going to also be an arrow function. So then now we want to write some logic now. So if editing notes, sorry, so if editing notes, so I'll say if editing notes, like if this, if editing notes, so let me write it here. So if editing notes, then what should happen? We want that, we want to like set wall, this wall, like want to get the data. So if editing notes, we want to get the data of this wall. So I'll now say set wall to be, is going to be an arrow function. So I'll get the previous data, then inside I'll like map the previous data, previous dot map to our like another function. You know, mapping is a function passing that note. Then what you want to do now, sorry, so when you map it, you want to get the note dot id, you want to see if the note dot id is equal to, double equal to, like triple equal to editing notes dot id. And if that is true, we want to spread the data inside this note and also spread also the data as well. But else, if it is not true, we just want to pass in notes like this. So now after this, we are going to have an else statement here. So I'll say else, what should we have? We want to like have a new note. So I'll say const new note, like a function is going to be we are going to give it a new id, which is wall. We get our wall, sorry, wall dot length plus 1. This is just a simple way to generate a id for it, and then we are going to spread the data that we have there. So with this, I'm going to save this now. So after saving this, I think then I'll just like, after this my else statement, now I'm just going to get my set wall state. I'm not going to set my wall to this, then get the previous prev like this, and then it's going to be a function, sorry. So we are going to set it to this, what we have here, the previous, like this, the previous data, and then the new notes like that. Quickly explain what we have here. So the first thing we check that if editing notes, that means if a user is editing notes, so we set this wall from the states. Now you know this wall is where all our data is. So what do? We use this map function to loop through all the nodes. So now if this note id matches an existing editing node.id, what do? We merge the data from this new node to the data together, to the data from the form, and then else, otherwise we should just leave it unchanged. So when the node's id, like if you click a new node, if the id matches the editing node.id, so we merge like the nodes with the data from the form, else we leave it unchanged. But here, so if editing notes, like if it's not editing notes, so else, that means you are creating a new note. So we just like create a new note with a simple function to add id, then we set the wall to the new note. So this is just, don't worry, we are going to see a little bit, look at it very well, you are going to understand it. I think this, like, to not waste our time, so let's just leave it as that. Let's continue. So now after this, we are going to call the close modal function. So we want to, after you have like edit your note or you click submit, so you close the modal. So let me just call this function, you know, we have opened, these are close modal functions, so I'll just call it here. So now we are done with our undo submit function. The next thing we want to do is undo delete. So const, I'll just say undo delete, like that. So it's going to be a function. I'll pass in id into the function. Then we are going to have like if window dot, we are going to use window dot confirm. Like if you click yes, are you sure you want to delete this sticky note? So if yes, then we are going to set our wall, like this. So in the same way, we are going to get the previous function. So then we are going to set it to the previous state. So we are going to set this prev.filter notes. So we are going to set the note to note.id equal to id, like this. So first let me just, this note here is going to have like a okay, so yes, so and I'm going to close this here like that. So with this we can save. So don't worry about this undo delete. We are not going to use this set wall. Actually, this place that we are using set wall, we are still going to like make them, this is just for like the React, the design part. In the like when we start to write our API, we are going to use like our API delete to delete the like the sticky notes and everything. So from here we are just going to filter and check if the notes.id is not equal to, so it's not equal to id. So this is just like a dummy data for our testing phase. So now let's just pass in some functions. So all these functions that we define here, let us pass them into our sticky notes. So the first one, if I come to this my sticky notes, so here I will say on edit. It's just like a name of a function, just like a name of a variable. It doesn't really matter, it's going to be a function. So on edit, we are going to give a function, the arrow function here, and it's going to be open edit modal, like that. Don't forget to pass your notes inside. Then on delete equal to like a function as well, an arrow function inside. So it's going to be undo delete, the function. Don't forget to pass in the notes.id. So then the next thing we want to do after this, if I come back to this my div, this part, so I'll give it an on click function here. So on click, so you should do what? You should open add modal. So let me remove these comments that I have here. So in my sticky modal here, I'm going to pass in a function like this. So I'll call it open modal. I'll say modal open, the state that we give it. Then in the same way, I'll pass in another function on close. Is going to be close modal. All these things are props that we are going to use in the sticky modal component. Then on submit is going to be undo submit. Then we are going to give it initial data. Initial data is what? Can you guess? It's going to be our what? Editing note. So don't forget. So initial data is going to be, let's say, editing notes, like that. So now let's quickly work on let's go to our sticky modal and work on some things there quickly. But before going to like our sticky modal, let's just see what we are having in our browser first. So if I come here, you see our sticky note is static like this. So I don't want it to be opened first. So what can we do to that? I want it that when we click this, that's when it should open. So if I come back to my code now, if you notice in this my sticky.jsx, this is our sticky modal here. We pass in like a prop here, open, and we set it to this state, modal open. But it's just like static there, is already displayed there. So for it not to like for us to control that, if I come to this my sticky modal, get that prop that we use, so open, this is the prop, this prop that I'm saying that we use to link it to this modal open. So then inside this place I'll write a small function. I'll say if not open, then I'm going to return, it should return null, like this. So instead of returning modal open, if it's not open it should return null, but if it is open it should return modal open. So let's see, if I go back to my browser now, and you see it's gone. So when I click this, it comes. So it's very, just look at it, it's very simple. But now let's work on this add and cancel button. So that's it. If I refresh it, when you refresh your page, it's gone, because at that point the modal open is like, is set to false. But when you click this, it's going to set modal open to true, and then it's going to return modal open. So very beautiful. So let's continue with this add. I want to, like, when we click this cancel, it should cancel it. So let's work on that now. So now if we go back to our sticky notes.jsx, so in this place we want to pass in two new props. Let me come back to this sticky.js and show you the props. So here we have this title, content, color, we have passed them there. So the two props I want to pass in is this on edit and on delete. So let's pass it there. So here I'll put comma here, and I would say on edit, then on delete. So we'll use this edit in this place. So in this edit icons, so I'll say on click, and it's going to be a function. So on click is going to be on edit, like this. So we use these props there. Then for this delete too, on click is going to be on delete, like that, this prop that we have there. So with that we are done with that part. So the next thing we want to work on, okay, before this let's just put this title access. So I'll say is equal to like edit, and I'll say title access is equal to delete. So now we are done with, so this title access that we give it is just that when you edit on this icon, it should show you a small label like edit and delete. So that is what that is doing. So now I'll save this, and let's just go to our browser and see what we have. So if I come here and I hover on this, let me refresh the page, and let's give it some seconds. Okay, so now if I hover on this, so you see the title access here, it's telling us edit, that tooltip, and when I hover on this, you tell me delete. So if I click on edit, you see it's bringing the what, this edit. When I clicked on it, it's bringing this what, this edit page. But one thing that we'll need to do is that we want to make some quick adjustment to this modal. The first one is that when we click on that pen icon, that edit icon, it should not show add sticky note, it should show edit sticky note, and then it should bring out like the current title, the information, the content, and everything. And also when we click on cancel, you should cancel this page. So if I refresh it now, it will go. And also this delete icon is already telling us, are you sure you want to delete this sticky notes? If I press OK, so it's deleting it. So everything is actually working, although this deleting is just like not removing that div from the page, but it's not see that it's deleting. We have not connect our API actually. So but you have seen how each logic is working now. So let's work on this modal. So if you click on this modal, it should bring edit sticky notes, and then if you click on this one that you see when I refresh, it comes back. So if I click on this one, it should bring out like add sticky notes. So let's do that now. So I'll go back to my code now. So now I want to go to this my sticky modal.jsx and give some, let's write some things there. So the first thing we want to do here in this our modal is that, so if I come down here, I want to like write some states. I'll say const title, then set title should be what, I want to use state. I'll say use state, make sure that it's imported up. So once you use it, it should be like an empty string first, then const, another one, this one is going to be the content. So content and set content So it's also going to be use state. So let's say use state like this, and it's also going to be string, and I'll save this. Now the next one that I want to do is, let me just copy one of these. So if I copy this, and the next one is going to be the color. So color and set color, color, then set color. So if I save this, so all of them are going to be string except this color. So this color, I want to give it a color, a default color. So it's going to be this color ff like e3b, like this, ff eb3b, sorry, ff eb3b. So this color is going to be the default color, like a yellow color like that. So now after that, the next thing we want to do now, so I'll use another, we have not used this React states before, use effects. We have just been using use states. So now let's use effects now. So I'll say use effects, make sure it imports it up, then it's going to be an arrow function here. Then inside we are going to have something. So first I'll say if initial data. Now you may wonder, where do we have this initial data? If we come back to our sticky.gsx, here we have like our initial data set. Where is it? Let me look for it. Where is it? Right, where? Okay, no. If I come down here, look at it. We set initial data to our editing note. So, and our editing note consists of what? Consists of the values or the data we have in our wall. So our initial data is our what? Our editing note. So I'll come here. Sorry, let me go back to my sticky modal. So inside there, I'll put a comma and import. I'll pass in the prop initial data. So if initial data, which is inside our editing note, I want to set title. I want to update this state that we have here. So I'll say set title to initial data dot title, or it should be an empty string. Sorry, it should be an empty string. Then I'll set content as well. So the same way, initial data dot content, or it should also be an empty string, like that. Then we are going to set color to initial data dot color, or is also going to be this color that we have here. So let me just copy this color that we have here. I'll copy this and paste it here. So pasting it here, then saving this. So after that, else, I'll now have else. If you don't have the initial data, the title, so set title is just going to be an empty string. And let me copy. So set contents is also going to be an empty string, like that. Then the color, set color, is just going to be our default color. So it's going to be our default color. So I'll save this. So if there's data, if we have like our initial data in our editing note, you should set the title to like the title of the data, then the contents, the color. But if you don't have initial data, everything should still remain as it was in the React state, or it should just remain as like empty strings, like that. So then after that, here I'll pass in my initial data. So I'll pass in my initial data like this, and also I'll pass in open. So when you open, so this use effect, if you automatically, if you are like editing something, it will like open it will set this open, not to like null, it will set it to like true, so it can open the modal. So then the next thing I want to do is let me come down before or let me just stay here. So the next thing I want to do now is writing our undo submit function. So const, I'll say undo submit is going to be an arrow function. sorry, it's going to be an arrow function. Now, so inside, what we want to do is that I'll pass in like e as an argument or a prop here. So inside I'll say e dot prevent default. This is a built-in function. So I'll say e dot prevent default, so that it should prevent like any default behavior or any static behavior. So now what we want to do now, say if not title dot trim, we want to trim it so that it should like remove any empty spaces, like spaces before or any spaces inside your title. Then or not content dot trim, what do you want to do? We want to return this, return. So what do we want to return actually? So first thing, we want to return the onSubmit function that we have here, this undo submit that we have here. So this is what we want to return, and we have passed in it here like onSubmit. So I have to like import it or pass in the prop here also. So I'll say onSubmit. So after that, if there is no empty spaces in the title or empty spaces in the content, then we want to submit onSubmit. What do you want to submit? We want to submit the title. Then I'll say title dot trim it dot trim, and also content dot trim, and also content, sorry, I have to like, I'm sorry for this. So content dot trim like this, and also I have to pass in my, what's it called, my color, like that. So now we have done with the logic, like the undo submit function now. So the next thing we want to do here, so I want to write a let me say a conditional statement here. So here, instead of having add sticky notes directly, I'll just say, I'll put it in this curly braces, and I'll say if we have initial data, then it should be what? This title should be edit sticky note, but else it should be add sticky notes like this. So then saving it. So what we say that if we have initial data, the title should be edit sticky notes, but if we don't have initial data, the title should be add sticky notes. Now what I want to do again is that here I want to pass in an onClick a function here. So I'll just say a built-in function actually. So I'll say onClick, then set it to a function like this, e, then a function like that. So I want to say e dot stop propagation, so that it will not stop, it will prevent some mistakenly clicking or like some default behavior. So I'll put it like the e dot stop propagation like that here. So now the next thing I want to do now is this form, this is our form. I'll pass in the onSubmit function. onSubmit is going to be undo submit like that. So onSubmit is going to be undo submit. Then here, this our input text. So here let's just put an onChange here. So onChange function. So when it is changed, so you should get e a function like this, e dot set title, then it should get the value that we have a e dot target dot value like that. So let me copy this. I may still need it in the content as well. So in my content also, I will say save this, but here it's not going to be set title, it's going to be set content like that. So with that we can change it. So not only that, so here in the value should be what? In this text title, the value will be title like that, and also here the value is going to be content like this. So now the next thing I want to do, so for our color also, the value is going to be our color like that, just color like this. And then let's set this onChange value here too also. So here if you change the color, you should set color e.target.value. Now the next thing, if I come down to this our buttons that we have here, so here button type submit, class name submit. Okay, where is the button type submit? So here I want to say I'll put, okay, not here. So this submit, this one too, it will also have like the logic or the conditional statement that we put here. So if you're editing the sticky note, you should like say, you should say save, not add. But if you are like creating a new sticky note, you should not say add. So how can we do that? So here I'll just put my curly braces, and inside I'll say if initial data like this, so it should be what? Save, else it should be add, like that. So now we'll save this, and this submit cancel btn, we have to give it a function. So here the button here is going to be on click function, and it's going to be on close. On click is going to be on close, so I have to pass in the on close function to this port here. So I'll say on close. Don't forget our on close function is this close modal function that we have here. So now here I'll just say on close, like that, on close, then saving the our project. So now we are done actually. And this button type btn, please change it. It should not be button type submit, because if it is submit, it will be like serving the same purpose as this. So let's just change it to like button type, it just be button, since it has its own function specified already. So don't forget to change that, please change that. So now with this, going back to our browser and see, so if I come back here, refreshing our page, let's see, no error actually. So if I click on this add, if you see it changes to what? Add sticky notes. We have the title, sorry, oh, set title is not a function, we have an error. Let's quickly check this. Sorry, I made a mistake. What I'm putting e.set title, no, that's not how it's done. Let's just quickly correct that here. So here is not, remove the, we don't need this, we already use like this, we have used the prop here or the arguments there, so we don't need it there. So let me remove the title too. So on save it, and let's go back to our browser. So now refresh. Okay, it's gone. So here, this is the title. Oh, let me refresh the page. Okay, now if I click on add title, you see these are our title. Let me create another one. Let's just say finish editing your video, then edit. Let me just put something like that, and color, and let's pick a color, then add. So we have it here. So if we click on this, okay, let's see. Oh, there's something wrong that we have not done actually. Okay, let me see this one. Oh, the same way. So let's check why we're having that problem. So let's go to our code here. So if I come to my, I think I was in, okay, sticky modal initial data. Let's go to our sticky.jsx. Okay, look at it here. You see, I didn't spell my initial data well. I say, see, the I should be before the A. I'm very sure you might not have that error, so everything should work well for yours. So now with that, now if I go back to the browser here, refreshing this, let me see. So if I click on edit, you see edit sticky notes, math exam review chapter 1 to 5, and the color. If I click on cancel, but if I click on this add, you see add sticky notes. So we are actually done with our sticky notes now. So review, let me say review chapter 1 to 6, save. Okay, cannot read properties map. Okay, let's see that. Let's solve this error that we have here. So to solve this, let me go back to my code here. So let's see in our undo submit function. So here I'm thinking this is where the problem is. Okay, in this set wall, we don't need these curly braces here. So let me remove these curly braces. So it's not letting it to return the function. So instead of like doing it like that, is that instead of like, if you want to, sorry, oh, there's, let me remove this what we have here as well and save this. So everything is compiled successfully. So it's because of that curly braces that we have there that we're having that error. So let's go back to the browser now. So here, let me refresh again and see. So let me edit this and change to like 6 and see what we have. So you see it changed value that we have there. So if I edit this, implement payment system 1 and save, and if I delete, okay, although if I refresh, everything will still come back. Actually, everything will still change. We'll handle that with our, like, in the next part of this video. So now we're actually almost done with our project. So the next thing we want to work on, we are done with upcoming page, today, calendar, sticky wall. This category page is going to be the next part of the video, this category and tag. So now the next thing we want to work on is our login and register page. So we are going to do that in the next part of this series. So watch out for the next video. Thank you.